Meeting, folks. We have a couple of our representatives that'll be coming in a little bit. We'll start with our land acknowledgement and the opening of the meeting. The council, the staff of the township of Montague acknowledge that the sacred land on which the township of Montague is now located, and this meeting is being held on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Anishinaabe Nation. Before we have our moment of silence, just going to talk about our Winter Fest is scheduled for the weekend of January 30th through February 1st, and the MRCC has a lot of fun games and events planned. On Friday night, there will be a kids glow dance party at Rosedale. There's no charge for that. And the the euchre at the Forget Me Not Club is $5 per person. On Saturday, there will be a winter games and activities, sleigh rides, and a bonfire at the Montague 22-acre park. During the day, and Yuck Yuck's comedy show for adults. On Saturday at night at Rosedale Hall, that should be a lot of fun. That's usually a lot of fun when those guys come. It's usually a riot, make fun of us, which is always awesome. So it's good for a good time. There's still tickets available to the Eventbrite, or in the township office at a cost of $25 per person. On Sunday, we are offering a free yoga class in the morning and a family movie matinee in the afternoon. For more details on the weekend's events, visit the township's Facebook page, where we have a lot of great information and a lot of good communication of what's going on. Staff have been very busy organizing some amazing trips and programming for the seniors. Thanks to funding to the provincial government. Contact the township office or visit our Facebook page for information on seniors activity living center memberships and upcoming events. So after that, we just have our moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. So we'll start out with the adoption of our agenda. So moved by Councillor Crabtree and seconded by Councillor Johnson. That the regular meeting of council agenda dated January 20th, 2026 be approved as presented this date. All in favor? And that's carried. Next up is moved by Councillor Johnson and seconded by Councillor Crabtree that the minutes from the regular meeting of council dated December 16th, 2025 be approved as presented this date. All in favor? That's carried. Raise your hand. So first up on the docket, we have 3 delegations. That's why the crowd is so full, which is great to see. So the first one is Paul and Beth Comier for the impact assessment. The floor is yours, my friend.
I'm getting up here now.
I'll remind you have 10 minutes, but I don't think it'll be that long, but
I know, you all have the information from the last meeting, and, you know what the issue is. Impact error, dating back to 2019, claiming that we were a commercial property operating at 1284 Birch Hill Road, which we have never been. An issue was raised about a company having an address there, IBSG. In any event, that company had been dissolved by 2019 anyway, and it never operated there. In fact, the letter that we gave you proof of presence in Kempfel. It doesn't get any better than Premier Wynne, sending you a letter at the address in Kempfel. And that company did not fly, had no income, had no HST, and so on. So we warrant, we guarantee, we promise you that there was never any commercial operation happening at 1284 Birch Hill Road. And I want to tell you, Beth would know, because she keeps the books for the family. We were completely immersed in our 2 businesses in North Grenville, which is Salamander's Restaurant in downtown, commercial. And also we had a consulting firm operating. IBSG was one, also Rana Development and Rana International were operating from 28 Clothier in North Grenville. We believe the error was committed on behalf of signage that is on the front of the property at the far. that was donated by a friend of ours who was a terrific sign maker many years ago, who used to live in a home that is now occupied by Doug Gowenlock, who's here this evening. Okay. He moved on, Doug moved in, but we still have the sign, and it is simply the name of the property. And there's no McDonald's sign or Coke sign on it or anything like that, so there's no commercial implication. We are requesting your consideration for credit of the taxation that was mistaken back to 2019. Any questions?
Perfect, thank you, yeah, I'll open up, any questions from council? Don't see any questions from council, so at this point, yeah, that's great, we're gonna receive this as information, and everything else too as well. We'll have a staff report in the future too as well.
Can I ask you to do something for me?
You can ask anything. Oh, speak up. Speak up. My mother used to always tell me, be careful, don't mumble when you talk, so that's good, so yeah.
You're not mumbling, you're very, very, but there's a little issue.
Issue there, no problem, yeah. So at this time, like, we will receive this as information. Staff will just bring back a report to us, well, just so we have everything we need, and then we can go forward with that too as well. So right now, we receive this as information, and then we go forward with the staff report down the road, which you'll be advised of when we get to that point too as well.
And so, the question is, having started this back in quite some time ago, when will that take place, do you think?
I don't have Allison,
Thank you, Chair. So yeah, so I've been working with the Cormiers and MPAC approved the reduction, as council recalls, for the 3 years that they could reduce it, and the credit has been applied. So for the balance, we'll need to bring back a report. Council has to approve or deny based on their underneath the Municipal Act, Section 357. So we'll bring that back in February. So it'll be either the 3rd or the meeting after. I'm just mid-year end audits next week. So it will be in February. And then once the decision, it'll be on the council agenda. So if council approves, it would be applied the next day. If they deny, then you'll have the right to appeal.
And I can get the shotgun. I would really appreciate a positive response, or we would appreciate a positive response to this. 36 years in the same place paying taxes. We made a mistake. Please help us out. Thank you very much.
So I have a move by Councillor Crabtree and seconded by Councillor Johnson that the presentation by Paul and Beth Cormier be accepted as information. All in favor? That's fair. Next up, we have our second delegation. Will be done by, I might say this name wrong, so correct me if I say it wrong, Philip Banshee.
Close enough.
Close enough?
You're close enough. You're close enough.
Perfect.
All right. So,
We'll have no problems in hearing.
so as we can see in the picture, there's multiple pictures. They're from all of our snow events up until our last two. The issue is, April of last year, we had that freak snowstorm at the end. Everything got plowed around us except for our roof. So we made a call to the emergency line to have it come. Someone appeared within an hour, clean that berm off. It was too late. It already ripped the skid plate off that car that's actually in that picture. So then 2 days later, without basically being informed or anything, our blue number, which was attached to the mailbox way down by the light back there, was moved to the corner. We knew nothing about it. Apparently it went to council, it was approved, everything was good. We knew absolutely nothing. So then they came in and they built a turnaround, which you probably see in one of the other pictures, to be able to turn the truck around there instead of down where they had been doing it for 50 plus years. Fine and dandy, that's no problem, if that's the way we want to do it. So it was filled with pit run. Then I couldn't access the field, so I had to come fix it, got fixed. No problem. So then this actually is snow event number 1. That is actually the entrance to my driveway from the public land. The blue number, which we'll see, you can switch pictures if you would like, sorry. As you see, it gets worse and worse and it blocks more and more of the driveway every time we plow. So this is pre-plow, this is not me. So you see where 160 is. Adjacent to that is the turnaround. So now we're pushing 20 feet past the blue number, which was not moved by us, which wasn't our idea. Now nobody can get it. Emergency services can't get in. There's an elderly person there. You never know what's gonna happen. If I'm at work, that looks like that. How we getting fire trucks in, police cars in. So I reported it. I got told if there's an issue, take it to council. That's the way it's gonna be. So here we are. You can scroll through another couple pictures if you want. There's no way for us to access our own property with a vehicle. At any point, there's not enough room between the snowbank and the ditch. So after emails to the Reeve as well, see, we're getting farther and farther in now. Now we're up to 30 feet in. I emailed the road super, no response. I called the road super. I got told if it's a problem, take it to council. That's the answer. I've sent many, many emails. Again, there's another snow event. I'm told that's a windrow for anybody watching. Apparently that's a windrow. I commercially plowed for 5 years. That's a snowbank. I can't get in, I can't get out. Well, I can drive through that. But we have enough other issues going on within the township and roads. It's just not passable. And my every time I send an email, the answer is take it to council. Now I'm just getting ignored completely. All I asked, actually, if you could stop at that picture, all I asked is a car width, which is not exactly why I put that picture, because that's exactly the way I asked. I can take the snowbank from where it is and push it over. I have zero problems helping out, but I need to be able to get in and out in the morning, the afternoon, whichever it may be. Like last night, I plowed my driveway at 8 o'clock. I finished. The plow came in at 6 o'clock this morning. Was perfect. Left me a spot to be able to get through. But it's only since I delegated to come to council that they've actually done what I asked. So I approached the driver quickly. I just asked him, and I do appreciate the guys. They work long hours, they work hard. No problems. I get it. All I asked him is I said, just leave me a car with. That's all I asked him. And he said, I'll do my best. And since I spoke, he's been leaving a car with. The problem is the personal vendetta against 160 Ellington Road. Because you see where there's no snowbank right there now. So every time I get plowed in and that snowbank's there at the end of my driveway, I was pushing it over there. Because why am I taking township snow into my property that I already am full because I have enough of my own to do? And I get a letter that I'm gonna be charged $1,000 for pushing it on a public road. Why can't the plow truck plow it in like that, turn around and push it over to that snowbank in the corner as he's leaving? It's 3 seconds. He already backs up to sand from there out. Why can't we just take that plow with that he leaves there and push it over to the other side of the turnaround? Not only are they actually cleaning one side of the turnaround because they come in and they push it across. Now they're cleaning the other side. So now all they're doing is helping themselves because now it's clear. It's not just one side clear. So I get a letter saying that if I push snow across a public road again, I'm going to be charged $1,000. I took a quick drive around the township. There's 17 other driveways that I counted with snow being pushed across the road. Have they got a warning that they're going to be charged $1,000 if they push snow across the public road? Probably not, because it's become personal. The sign was moved without us even knowing. The maintenance is done, they're stopped without us knowing. This is happening. All I'm doing is literally pushing the snow that was pushed in. I'm just pushing it out. I take all my own snow from the sign and I push it into my property. Right? So I'm only moving the snowbank. So what's the difference whether I push it over there or if they push it over there? It is the big thing that I have. I need a whip for an emergency vehicle to get in and out. And that's all I've been asking for since the start. And I have 8 snow events. I think there's a couple more pictures, maybe. Okay. So I've actually sent, so there's another night. I mean, To me, that looks like, I've measured that one, it's 32 inches high. That's not a windrow. 6 inches maybe. So, like I said, I'm literally asking that the plow operator take the extra 5 seconds to back up and take that snowbank and push it over in the turnaround that they use. They already use one side for snow, why can't they use the other? Like I said, unfortunately, it's a personal thing because we keep getting served letters and threats. I got told that I shouldn't be calling the OPP. I was getting no response from the reeve. I was getting no response from the road superintendent. Nothing was getting done about it. All I reported was a traffic hazard to the non-emergency line. Because I worked for the OPP for 7 years. All I did was present them a traffic hazard. They told me that there should be no issues for me to push the snow across there from both officers that attended between Christmas and New Year's. Because I had to call in twice because I called and I got no response. When I start my tractor, it takes 40 minutes for it to warm up the hydraulics to work. So I plowed my driveway last night. Like I said, he was very generous today. He left us a car width. So props to the driver. But normally I'd have to start my tractor for 40 minutes to push that pile to move it. So that's what I have on that situation.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from council at all? No.
I don't know where to start, so I'm gonna need more information, but
Okay, perfect, that's fine.
Actually, could you just
Start
start
over
the 160,
Mhm.
where was it, you said?
It used to be attached to the mailbox just at the end of the drive, way down where the light, if you go back to the first picture, sorry. If you go back, yeah, right to the very first picture, if I'm not mistaken, it is. Cause it's kind of dark. Yeah, if that light street light down
Oh,
there,
okay.
the mailbox is right below it.
Oh, okay.
So for 50+ years, they literally would come and turn around.
Yeah.
One time, and I can tell you this because I know, one time that vehicle was parked in the turnaround that we offered for them to use to make it nice and easy for them to come in and out. One time there was a vehicle there, so it was a 5-point turn instead of a single turn. But we, as residents, tried to take those vehicles out of the turnaround and move them way over out of the way. But we had a freak snowstorm, so it happened once. And over one time, and just making a phone call because they left a berm when they went around Wood and we couldn't get on to Allington in the freak snowstorm. We all of a sudden have that sign moved way up to the corner. And the turnaround be,
So the sign then now is at the end of your driveway?
so it's where the, yeah, so
Like your
sorry to be
driveway
a
is where
pain,
that,
right there is the driveway,
Right.
adjacent to that is the turnaround.
okay, all right.
But they moved it from the mailbox way down.
So the tractor on down, that's your driveway?
Yeah, well, yeah, from, I think it's whatever it is, 10 to 15 feet in
Yeah.
from the blue number, yeah, it's all our driveway.
Okay.
And then, you know, they were nice, and again, I props all the roads guys, and girls, it's hard work. They would come down and they would drop halfway down, like once the driveway was wide enough, he would drop them and push it. We never, ever had a berm, had a snowbank, had an issue until last year.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So it's the same thing, we receive this information to us well,
Yep.
and we kind of go from there as far as getting an understanding of everything goes well, and there'll be communication back to as well, so.
Hopefully there is this time, because there hasn't been.
thank you.
Thank you. So moved by Councilor Johnson and seconded by Councilor Crabtree. That the presentation by Philip Banshee, I hope we did that right, be accepted as information. All in favor? And that's carried. We're not done yet for delegations. So our next one up is Sharon Halliday from the Lanark County Child and Youth Services, the coordinator.
Yes,
Hi.
thank you. And I'll be really quick.
Welcome.
Thank you. And I'll speak up loud. So I'm here on behalf of the Lanark County Child and Youth Services Collaborative. My name is Sharon Halliday, and I've been the coordinator since 2018. All right. So the Lanark County Child and Youth Services Collaborative, what is it? It's all of the agencies that have anything to do with children, youth, and their families. And we meet once a month, and that's my job to get the meeting all ready. And we actually have our meetings, our presentations based on the work plan that we base on the June survey. So everyone asks, you know, what do you want to hear about? What do you want to know? it's quite a great group of people. It's all of the CEOs, directors, or someone's appointed to them to meet monthly and talk about issues in our area, Lanark County. It's just Lanark County. And the issues that any of their children and youth may be having, or suggestions or ideas. So I leave every meeting feeling really good, which didn't happen very often when I worked for the school board and went to meetings. I wasn't always feeling good when I left, but we really are. So our priorities are information sharing, collaboration and planning, and community education advocacy. So the reason I wanted to come was, first of all, so that you know about it. It's been going for a long time. It was called the Lanark County Child and Youth Service, or Lanark County Planning Table, I should say. I worked there for a year and I thought, we're not planning anything. Why are we called a planning table? Anyway, it is a collaboration, and the coffee breaks are actually when it all happens, because people have an opportunity to talk to each other. Really important in small little Lanark County that people are not reinventing the wheel. We have limited resources, limited budget, limited everything, as we all know. So when you go to the meeting and find out, oh, you're applying for that grant, so was I, let's plan it together. Right? So I have three things I'm going to talk to you about. I mentioned about the collaborative. The other thing is a municipal toolkit, and I have a copy I'll leave behind, and I sent it to you. This was developed to help you out, really, but I could listen at the very beginning to all of the events that are going on for children and youth, and that really makes me happy, because I spent 30 years in the school board, teacher and principal, and now in this job, because I know what a difference a community can make when they will really back their kids. I've also done a few supply days up here at Montague, and just a great feeling of community and people coming in for the Christmas concert and so forth. So this toolkit that I'm going to be giving to you is just an opportunity to make sure that everything you're doing, you're considering your youth as well. Because as we know, we don't want the youth to leave. We don't want them to leave Montague Township, because they're the tax base that's going to help with snow plowing and so forth. So you want to be sure that the children are going to stay. They feel valued, and they want to know what they feel right now is important to all of us here, all us adults. So the toolkit has 5 strategies in it, 5 ideas, and it's a template, which I'll share with you. So strategy 1 is giving youth a voice, and there are different opportunities for that. Even through the school board, they have different youth questionnaires, and Planet Youth, you might have had a presentation on that, where they do surveys with the grade 10 students and find out their thoughts and feelings and whether they feel like they belong. We all know how important belonging is, and how feeling like you've got a place. And for kids, that is astronomical, making sure they have a place, or they'll find a place. And we know those places are not often the best. Strategy 2 is celebrating and recognizing youth success. I did look at your website, and I saw where you have a civil recognition award that you give at Montague School. Providing or supporting opportunities for youth to connect with youth. Well, that hayride is going to be a great spot. So things like that, where kids get a chance to get together with people in their own community, instead of sitting there on a phone, talking to each other, getting to know each other. Number 4 is providing opportunities for youth to connect with community members. I think we forget sometimes just how important we are to kids. I mean, I have grandkids. When you walk in and they scream your name and come running, we must mean something. So imagine doing that for so many other kids in our community, giving them opportunities to do that. And strategy 5 is celebrating community asset builders, which is the third thing I'm going to talk to you about. So what are assets? It's a term that comes from Developmental Asset Framework, evidence-based from the CERT Research Institute. Basically, it's making sure that kids have an opportunity to be good people. So external assets, what we can provide them is support, empowerment, boundaries. Oh my goodness, that is so important. And expectations. Expect the best of them. Then they build their internal assets by having a commitment to learning, positive values, social competencies, positive identity, and constructive use of their time. So what I'm asking for is for you to consider when you're making decisions here. I know when I was principal, I would often be asked all kinds of things, and I'd always think, is that the best for the kids? And if it was yes, then yes. And no matter what you're talking about here, if you want to consider, is it the best for the kids and youth in your community? The big adult ideas, are they going to help out the kids? Consider joining. Any of you are welcome to come once a month on the second Thursday of the month, anytime, to hear about what's going on at our collaborative meeting. And then the last thing, last year we started the Developmental Asset Award winners, and you can see here there were 8 in Lanark County that were nominated. We've kind of, coattailed with Leeds and Grenville because they've been doing it quite a while. Well, they had 38 at theirs. So we had 8 at Lanark County, our first attempt. And I know there's a lot more than 8 great people that do good things for kids and make a difference. And it can be something as small as, I'm sure you recognize the one fellow there. He was the school crossing guard in Smiths Falls, and every time you drove by, he waved at you, gave you the wave. He just retired. Like, did you not just feel better when you saw that? Like, he waved at you and you just think like, oh my goodness, taking the time to smile and give a wave.
Everybody loves Gary.
Yeah, me too. We do. We love
Great
to
guy.
feel like you matter. And imagine he's waving at the kids too. So all of these people that were nominated, from a principal to a karate instructor, we've had daycare teachers, we've had people that work in the arena. I mean, I went into a store today in Smiths Falls, a dollar store of some type. And the lady, like, I left feeling like $1 million, like, and I was only buying some paper plates. So the difference that people can make, and the difference you can make for kids, changing their whole days. So that's what the Development Asset Awards are about. So I'm going to be sending the nomination forms to you and hoping that if you don't know of someone who does great things, but I think even sitting here tonight, you're doing great things, that you'll send it out to your people and let them know that they can nominate someone, because they deserve to get that pat in the back, and we need to hear about all the good things that are going on for kids in our community. So those will be coming out about March, and we held the awards in June at the Lanark County building. So that's it. Thank you.
Sure, thank
Any
you.
questions?
That was fantastic. I think that's really a great piece of information about. I was talking about the greatness of our youth too as well. I mean, it was really great to be the last county meeting when those awards were being presented to as well, that we got to be a part of.
Yes.
And just hearing the stories of what those individuals do. We know there's so many individuals out there that do so many great things with our youth too as well. And we have a lot of great youth out there.
We do.
that-
They all are. They just gotta be given a chance to
Exactly,
listen
do a
to.
lot of great things, so
Yeah.
it's wonderful, and I hope, it's nice to have an audience when you have these kind of things too as well, so people see that too as well, and I saw some smiling faces out there, when we hear about how great some of these people are too as well, and I think it's a great connection to have that with our multi-generations too as well, so
Yes.
I think that's wonderful, and it's always wonderful to hear these side of things too as well, so thank you for that. On that note, is there any questions from council at all as far as,
Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
yeah, thank you very much.
I should talk for you.
Please, anytime.
So thank you for that. So the move by Councilor Crabtree, second by Councilor Johnson. The presentation by Sharon Halliday, Lanark County Child and Youth Services Coordinator for Open Doors Mental Health for Children, Youth and Families be accepted as information. All in favor? And that's carried. That concludes our delegations. We usually don't have that many delegations in an evening, but tonight we did, so that's great. So we're gonna move on to the next one, which is our planning manager, Kristen Cote, the appointment of members of Montague Recreation Culture Committee.
Thank you, Chair. So the report that you have before you this evening, as you said, is with respect to appointing a member to the Montague Recreation Culture Committee, or the abbreviated word, the MRCC, makes it a little easier to say. So Kim Moffat, she's a resident of the township, and she's been attending meetings and participating in community events. Last year, she expressed an interest in joining the committee and has now submitted the required documents to do so. So attached to this report is a draft bylaw, having Kim Moffat as a member of the MRCC. And that bylaw is on the agenda for passage later on this evening.
That's wonderful. It's another one of those things, the MRCC does so many great things in our township over the years. We know we have the Winterfest coming up that's being organized too as well. So it's great when we get to add more members, and we always want to add more members. We want to have more people getting involved in our township. We're always encouraging people. A spin off even with when we do our 6 years activity grant, living stuff too as well that we do. there's so many good positive things that we try to do in the township, and we always want to encourage anybody to step up. So when we have people coming up and helping out like this, I think it's really, really exciting. Because all of these kind of things help kind of bring our township together, and bring us further together. We can have those conversations, we get to have that communication, we get to have those things that when we, you know, it really takes down a lot of the heat to as well. And I think we can show what great community we are. So this is really exciting. We get to add new members too as well. So on that, is there any questions from council for that one there too as well?
Kim's amazing. It's great to have her and I'm glad it finally happened. Took a little while to get all the necessary documents because government moves at a certain pace, but it's wonderful that she's actually be able to.
Awesome. So moved by Councillor Johnson and seconded by Councillor Crabtree that the council authorize the appointment of Kim Moffat as a member of the Montague Recreation and Culture Committee for the Township of Montague and pass the necessary bylaws to recognize said appointment as per the draft bylaw presented this date. All in favor? And that's carried.
Are we gonna applaud that too?
We can. We got a little fun. That's good.
Maybe she's watching online.
So it's our next one is, the joint Lander County 2026 election compliance audit, and Kirsten will take that one through.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So the election is upon us. County clerks have been very busy preparing since, goodness, probably the summer of 2025 for the 2026 municipal election. One of the tasks that has to be completed is having an election compliance audit committee. And the only way to do that is to advertise for interested parties to be members of that committee. The Municipal Elections Act requires that this committee be established before October 1st of an election year. And the county clerks deem it necessary to have terms of reference for the committee. This has been done in past elections as well. So the terms of reference, they address the duration of the appointment of members, the process for applying to be a member of the committee, and their statutory obligations and powers under the Municipal Elections Act, should they be selected. So advertising will begin in February via insertion in the community newspapers, the journals, and also on municipal websites and on social media. And then once those applicants have been vetted, a report will be brought to each municipal council with appointment bylaws with recommendations. So this evening, just looking for, I'm looking for council to adopt the terms of reference, and that bylaw is also attached to the agenda for later this evening. And one more thing, our finance department added a recommendation in there as well, that looking for council to provide direction to use election reserves if required to offset any additional costs for that audit committee, because there is remuneration for those people to be on the committee. Are there any questions from council?
Questions for council? Chugging along for the election, so. So moved by Councillor Crabtree, second by Councillor Johnson, that council adopt the attached joint Lanark County 2026 Elections Compliance Audit Committee terms of reference. And the council provides direction to the treasurer to use election reserves if necessary to offset additional costs for the audit committee. All in favor? And that's carried. So is the zoning for 525 Pinery Road, the rezoning application, and Kirsten is, might as well keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. Okay, so further to a recent delegation to council by the owners of 525 Pinery Road, regarding a planning application to rezone a portion of their property for a tourist commercial use, requesting exemption from studies that were deemed necessary by staff. At the direction of council, staff have prepared what I'll consider to be a comprehensive explanatory report. So I did want to start this off by saying that staff are very appreciative of the fact that this council is invested in understanding planning processes. It demonstrates fairness, it demonstrates transparency, it ensures that when you make decisions, you're doing so from a place of understanding their impacts. The report before you provides a timeline of the discussions and written communications with the applicants that commenced prior to their purchase of the property, a review of varying proposals by the owners and efforts by staff to provide alternate solutions if possible, demonstrating staff's desire to understand the development being proposed and to ask questions to determine a path forward, a review of applicable legislation and policies to be adhered to ensure that development being proposed is appropriate. Staff do want to emphasize that when certain studies are indicated as being necessary to deem an application complete, this is not done to be punitive. The PPS, the Planning Act, the provincial guidance documents, and the township's official plan, they all provide for circumstances where studies are deemed necessary. As reflected in staff's report, council, who are the approval authority for zoning amendments, is tasked with the responsibility for making decisions that are compliant with provincial legislation and municipal policies. And they rely on staff to ensure that sufficient information is provided to them to make these decisions. Staff cannot provide recommendations to council where there are technical and legislative components to be evaluated without the benefit of professional studies. The list of studies noted in our official plan, those studies are prepared by professionals in their respective industries. They're providing their expert opinions on whether or not a proposal is acceptable or requires revision or further review. General practice is that these studies are peer reviewed by another industry professional to ensure that the methodology and findings of the original report writer are valid. Staff are people, and staff are aware that these studies and their peer reviews, they're costly, and unfortunately, there's a cost associated with development. In this situation, staff have scoped out studies that would be unnecessary and provide little to no value, such as the aggregate impact assessment due to current residential uses in the area that would impede an aggregate operation from being established. Other studies and reports that have been identified as necessary are required for the protection of the natural habitat, as well as health and safety of the community and those that are visiting. So not requiring these studies will, and I've underlined will in my notes, result in the following. Staff would not be in a position to adequately answer questions from circulated landowners, agencies, and other members of the public regarding the appropriateness of development proposed. And this is very common in rezoning applications. I will remind council of 800 Ford Road. There were a lot of inquiries, and a lot of those inquiries were addressed by referring to those studies that were obtained for that planning proposal. Staff would not be able to comfortably recommend approval of the proposed rezoning to council. And previous applicants who've obtained and paid for studies will undoubtedly be very frustrated, potentially seeking reimbursement from council. Future applicants will object to the requirement for studies for their applications. So in closing, staff are hopeful that council sees and appreciates the thoroughness of staff's reviews of planning applications, the importance of the studies that are undertaken to support development proposals, or demonstrate that they are not appropriate, and accepts this report as information.
Thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome.
I think that's a great example of just the detail that our staff puts into their work and what comes back. And we've seen that over the years and all of the things that we get back from our staff. There's a lot of detail. We have a lot of discussion. We have a lot of great information. Council asks a lot of questions to us well to understand where we're going with things. And this is just another great example of all of that detail and all of those questions that get asked and what we go through. There's a reason why we meet every 2 weeks and we have a lot of these discussions and we have a lot of these talks. And a lot of these are really in regards to making sure that we're trying to make the best decisions with a lot of the information we have. And we do have a great staff that really gives us a lot of information, does a lot of research, tries to figure out the best way that we can go forward with. So I really want to commend Kirsten with this information too as well, because this was another file that we wanted to make sure we had all the information as we were going through. And I think this is really good with understanding and receiving all of this information. And we really appreciate having that information. And I hope people also see the thought and the work that is put into a lot of the reports that are given to council from our staff. So anyways, on that, there was any questions from council in regards to this particular file?
No, it was pretty clear, not much to say, so.
Perfect, yeah.
No, you know, we don't make decisions based on just simple facts. There's bylaws, there's government policy, and we have to maintain a certain amount of dignity and respect to all of them to make sure that we're doing the same thing for absolutely everyone. Because if we change one, then as you politely said, there's recourse, there's court fees, there's things that might be paid out by the municipality for not doing our due diligence. Also, the impacts that this might have on other neighbors and other people on the road and the municipality as a whole. So I want to say thank you very much for the quality of this report. It's very lengthy, but a very good report.
We've gone back and forth. This is great, yeah. So on that note, moved by Councillor Johnson and seconded by Councillor Crabtree. That the council receives staff explanatory report regarding the required studies and information needed to deem the zoning application for 525 Pinery Road complete. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, so the next one down is moved by Councillor Crabtree, seconded by Councillor Johnson. The council approved the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting dated December 16, 2025, and approve the recommendations contained within. All in favor? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Johnson, second by Councillor Crabtree, that bylaw 4186-2026 being a bylaw to establish remuneration and expenses for members of the council and local boards be read a first, second, and third time and passed, signed, and sealed this 20th day of January 2026. All in favor? Any questions about that at all? None. Moved by Councillor Crabtree, second by Councillor Johnson, that bylaw 4187-2026 being a bylaw to appoint members of boards, committees, that their statutory positions be read a first, second, and third time, passed, signed, and sealed this 20th day of January 2026. All in favor? That's carried.
Congratulations, Kim.
Yeah. Moved by Councillor Johnson, second by Councillor Crabtree, that bylaw 4188-2026 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of development agreement. The Tanya Reuter, thank you, David Matthew McLeod, Robert Levine, and Jennifer Levine be read a first, second, and third time, passed, signed, and sealed this 20th day of January 2026. Thank you with those names. Great. We have to move on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All in favor?
All in favor? Thank you. Got ahead of myself there. Moved by Councillor Crabtree, seconded by Councillor Johnson, that bylaw 4189-2026 being a bylaw to adopt the joint Lanark County 2026 election compliance audit committee terms of reference be read a first, second, and third time, passed and sealed, signed and sealed this 20th day of January 2026. All in favor? Thank you, Trevor. Moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Crabtree, that bylaw 4190-2026 being a bylaw to authorize the borrowing of money to meet current expenditures for the year be read a first, second, and third time, passed, signed, and sealed this 20th day of January 2026. All in favor? And before we say all in favor, Allison?
Thank you. Can I just clarify that? Because I don't want anybody thinking that we're just walking into some debt here. That's just basically an overdraft. We have to, it's a bylaw we pass every year. We don't tend to run overdraft, but it's something that the bank requires from us on an annual basis.
Yeah, so I guess like we cruise through that as council, but it's one of those ones that we do every year.
Yeah.
We're not, that's why we don't ask a question on it too as well, but I think it's a great clarification from anybody in the
Yeah.
public. I think that's a great, once again, from staff to make sure there's a clarification, but yeah,
It's procedural.
it's procedural. All in favor? And that's carried. Moved by Councillor Crabtree, seconded by Councillor Johnson. That bylaw 4191-2026 being a bylaw to establish the calculation and collection procedures to be implemented in the interim tax billing process be read a first, second, and third time passed, signed and sealed this 20th day of January 2026. All in favor? And that's carried. Right, I get those. Moved by Councillor Johnson and seconded by Councillor Crabtree that bylaw 4192-2026 being a bylaw to adopt the 2026 municipal operating capital budgets be read a first, second, and third time passed, signed, and sealed this 20th day of January 2026. That's a really big one, obviously, because that's the capital budgets and the operating budgets. That Allison would probably chime in on a little bit there.
Thank you, Chair. So, I'm just gonna advise you that once year end's done and county sets their tax rates, we will bring back the full document similar to previous years in having all that information broken out. But in keeping with that, the 5.09% that council had approved at year end, whenever we received the final roll for the 2026 year, that actually came down to about 4.83% will be the overall tax change. So I know council was working really hard to try and get below the 5. You're below the 5. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that, but that will all be included in the March tax billing as well, indicating what capital projects, all the good things that we're doing.
Perfect, thank you for that great explanation. And I'd like to also welcome Councillor Bass and Reeve Jennings, who have made it in from their very important comments. So welcome. Thank you.
And I'll be rest.
All in favor? And that's carried. We'll just finish it. Okay. Good, I'm getting there. We went through all the bylaws finally, so now we're on the action item. Your name's on the email, so are you just gonna take this real quick, or is it?
I can. Council will recall that we had a delegation from Alto High Speed. I believe it was in December.
Yeah.
And they are having a roundtable discussion in March, and they're looking for one delegation from each municipality to attend. So this piece of correspondence was moved to action so that council can make the decision as to who that person will be. I've confirmed that we will be sending one person, but not the name of that person.
Are they looking for like staff? Or are they looking for more of a political side of things? Because there is open houses where like anybody can go.
Yes, it's a public open house. It's I believe, another piece of correspondence on information items.
Yeah.
And that will also be, if it hasn't already been, will be shared on our Facebook. It's scheduled. We have a lot of stuff going on, the municipality. So, this one is specifically for a representative, a stakeholder representative from a municipality. It doesn't say specifically that it needs to be a council member, but a representative from that municipality, so.
So this would be a good opportunity to share concerns, issues, foreseeable problems.
Also positive impacts, though.
Yeah.
Potential positive impacts.
Okay. Potato.
Yeah, there's obviously gonna be a lot of positives, a lot of good things with the high speed rail and how it affects us too as well. And Allison, you have something here.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So I personally feel like this is kind of a team and group that there should be some kind of a working committee of what that one person should be bringing to the table. This is potentially, whether we see it in our time or not, potentially a big project that we want to make sure we don't miss anything.
So we have a little bit of time, so is that maybe something on maybe our next meeting, we can have a little bit of a discussion about putting together a group, or do you wanna have that discussion now? Like, I mean, or do you wanna have someone that we want to appoint somebody right now, and then have that, after that point, to say sort of what that person is sort of bringing everybody to the table with too as well? Okay, also.
My recommendation is that you, because it's the 3rd of March,
Yeah.
and I know people are on vacation and things like that. So my recommendation would be that you pick a couple of people along with staff to sit on to come up with some ideas that we bring back to the public meeting, so it's public and all of council.
Yep.
And then you guys can appoint somebody to be the delegate at that time. Whoever maybe feels most comfortable bringing that forward would be my recommendation, but I don't know that I'd wait until the next meeting. You may want to get this kind of rolling.
When do we have to get back to, we already said we're sending somebody, so really, we don't have to let them know like right away that who that actual person is, right? Like, is that what you're, that we can right now say who wants to have a small group discussion and then pick that person out of that.
Yeah, sure. Unless there's somebody that's dying to be the delegate for this, then by all means you can do that this evening. But
Okay,
sometimes it's good to get into the meat and potatoes of something before somebody puts their hands up.
100%, yeah. So is there a small group of people that would like to be part of that discussion, I guess? Like, okay, so we have two and.
Nope.
And yourself too as well?
No,
Do we have to worry about, if we get into a three-person
Yeah,
discussion? That's
so
cool.
yeah.
So we'll stick with two, if that's cool. But then we'll come back to the meeting
Yeah.
anyways, and we're gonna have that discussion, so, and also with a staff member too as well.
I can hear Trevor.
Is it better with, Kirsten to be part of that, as staff? Is that,
You can appoint whoever you like.
is that okay with you? Is that okay? Okay, so if the three of you kind of throw things, ideas out, and we can always send you emails too as well, if we have some thoughts too as well that participate into that discussion.
So my head was down with Councillor Johnson
And
and
Councillor Bradford. Right now, our resolution is a little bit different, since too,
Okay.
so.
And I know who's really good at articulating in a very positive way. He'd be great to go to. He's super positive.
You betcha. Uh, so right now, we basically just have, council has developed a small working group to bring, sorry, go ahead.
So, I mean, if Trevor's gonna be on the working group and he's fine with being appointed as the delegate, we could put his name in and then just add to it that we're gonna have a working group. as well if we wanted.
I never said I was gonna be here.
If you were free, you said yes.
Sounds good.
You're very well spoken. We enjoy your enthusiasm that you bring.
Well, I appreciate that, thank you. Okay, yeah, sound good, okay. So that Trevor be appointed as the delegation representative to the Township of Montague to attend the Alto High Speed Rails Corridor Roundtable on March 3rd, 2026. And, or are we just,
I have in that, Councillor Johnson and Councillor Crabtree and First Dakota be appointed to a working group regarding Alto High Speed discussions. Is that appropriate? I can read that. Yeah.
that works for everyone?
Yes,
All in favor? That's good.
and if Trevor cannot go, I will gladly fill in for you.
Thanks. We can always change, yeah, you can always change that, or EV, whatever, like, I mean, it's a, there's a lot of donuts being made at the bakery or something, like, you never know, so.
I would do that.
I'm just kidding. So the next one up is the Ontario Provincial Police Association, request for waiver of Rosedale Hall rental fees. I know Allison had something, yeah, a suggestion for that, so. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. So similar to last year, you got this request, because it's past the November deadline for your grants. We put it on the agenda for council discussion. Last year, you made the decision to offer it to them at the resident rate, so the reduced rate for their two, events. And, I would recommend that we provide them, if you go with that again for this year, I would recommend that we provide them a copy of the grant application so that they have it for next year and they can put it through that process, similar to what we request other organizations to do.
I think that's fair too as well. It covers our costs too as well, because that's a big thing too as well. There's a cost to cleaning costs, everything else associated to that. You know, as much as we want to be able to do that, for this organization, there is a cleaning cost that is a cost to our residents that we have to make sure that we're looking at. And we want to make sure we're putting it on the right line item. So I think that's a great suggestion. If anybody Everybody good with that? So moved by Counselor Johnson, we can mix it up now that the other people are here, but we'll just stick the same. Counselor Johnson, and seconded by Counselor Crabtree. The council directs staff to advise the Ontario Provincial Police Association that they will be offered the residential rate for Rosedale Hall rentals in 2026, similar to 2025. And that should the Ontario Provincial Police Association be interested in waived rental fees post 2026, that they be encouraged to complete and submit a donation request to the township to be considered in a future budget discussion. All in favor? And that's carried. So Easter is approaching us, and really the Montague Recreation and Culture Committee has basically sent us a letter asking graciously if we would like to help out with baking sausages and pancakes and all that kind of stuff. And if everybody's available on March 28th, to go ahead and do that. I don't want to put anybody in the spot, but I think most are willing
I'll
to.
do the cash, but I don't cook.
That's perfect. That's great. We got a pancake man. We got a sausage man. We got a bacon man. I don't know. I got a pancakes. I made the coffee too strong last year according to Tom, but if that's okay, so I say. But we're more than happy. We know it's awesome and we love the recreation committee, taking part in this, obviously, and leading it. And we're just glad that we can also help out too as well. And I think it's a great community event. It's a lot of fun to see. We talked about it earlier with the youth that come out, and we also have our seniors too as well. So like it goes from our youth to our seniors and everybody in between. I think it's just a fun, great event that we've always had to get great turnout for. So even the people that are here, if you've never been to our pancake breakfast, please come out, check it out, have fun, talk to your neighbors. If you have, come back because you know it's a good time. And yeah, that's really, really great. So thank you very much. Thank you to the chair. Thank you for bringing it forward, and we love it, and thank you very much. So, and we'll all see you there. So moved by Councillor Crabtree and seconded by Councillor Johnson, that council receive the MRCC's letter regarding the Easter pancake breakfast on March 28, 2026, and confirm their assistance in preparing the breakfast. All in favor? And that's great. And cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, and cash. She's our money girl. That's good. That's good.
Chair, before we move on,
For sure.
I just wanted to point out information item B, which is with respect to municipal election training. So we did talk about elections earlier this evening. And I did want to make a point of saying that on our website, gradually adding election related materials to the 2026 election page, and I've created a tab on that page that provides free election training opportunities that have come to my attention for either current members that want to run again or for new members. And I believe there's even some training on there for younger members. They say youth, but I think they mean like the maybe late teens, early 20s, for people that might be interested in running for council for the first time. So anytime, especially a free election training opportunity comes up, it will be posted and shared.
That's great.
At the conference today too, this group were there during the presentation, and there will be more materials coming out, trying to promote people to come out and vote, as well as coming out to run for elections.
That's important, obviously, like we want to make sure that, hey, we have people running for positions too as well, because, and also understanding what that entails when you run. So that's why it's good to have these courses too as well. And also the encouragement of obviously of having people to vote. I mean, when you have a lot of elections that are sub 40% of the people voting, it's tricky because we want to make sure that people are voting and people are talking about it and everything else too, as well as we're trying to figure out how to make sure that we're doing the right thing for our municipalities and everything else. So, very well done. Thank you for putting out that communication as best that we can too as well. We don't need a resolution for that, though.
No.
You're doing it anyway, so it's fine. So yeah, we'll bring that information in there. So that's perfect.
Sorry, and then, the March 4th, just a reminder for the open house. separate open house for Alto High School.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. So like, we have the open house too as well, that anybody can go to, and listen and ask questions and everything else as well. There's multiple times too as well, 11 to 3 or 5 to 9 PM. So for, depending on what your working schedule is or whatever that looks like, hopefully that people can make it and figure out what that might look like. We know it's years away, but these things are like what starts with the planning from like at the beginning, as it does have an impact really down the road too as well. So like the more we talk about and how this could affect, especially Leonard County and how it can positively affect us, as we grow and everything else, it can be a lot of good information. So people don't know what it is, probably encourage you to look it up too as well and see what that looks like. So. Perfect. Anything else? All right, on that note, we always finish, with questions from the people either that are present or online. And so if you have any questions that are in the audience, we would love to hear them. And Mr. Tom May, if you don't know who Tom May is, he's usually here keeping us accountable and asking questions, and we have a question for it.
On the gentleman, the first one, the delegation, about where his impact has overcharged his taxes. And he's asking for you guys to give him a rebate back on his old taxes. What about the school board and the county? Can you guys authorize that, or does he have to personally go to county and go to school board to get his money back from those people?
That is a great question, and I'm going to defer to our expert in that, Mr. Reagan.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks, Tom. You always got good ones. So, if it's up to the municipal council, so if you guys choose to, write those taxes off, then the county and school board, are also, and we provide them notice of the approved 357.
And they pay back their portions to do as well, or, yeah.
We would then have a write-off. So whenever we reconcile on an annual basis to the county and the school board, it would be a write-off of so much to each, whatever school board they pay to and the county, and it gets reconciled at the end of 2026.
Perfect. Thank you. Great question. Any other questions? Any other questions at all? Seeing none? Thank you. So we'll close her up then. Moved by Councillor Johnson and seconded by Councillor Crabtree. The council recessed the council meeting at 7:03 PM. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you, everybody.
Chris?
No, it's the mechanic.
Go ahead. Chris is the bossy one. You saw us working.
Hello, everyone. Ms. Barakin. I'd like to open the committee of the whole in person, live stream electronically, Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. First we'll open up with the land acknowledgement. The council and staff of the Township of Montague acknowledge that this is sacred land on which the Township of Montague is now located and this meeting is being held. It is the ancestral unceded territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe Nation. All right, we'll move right into it. We'll go with the adoption of the agenda. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to make sure you had a pen.
Oh,
Take care of yourself.
thank you very much. Much appreciated, Reed Jennings. Moved by Reed Jennings, second by Councilor Crabtree, that the committee of the whole of January 20th, 2026 be approved as presented this date. All in favor? Carried. All right. The adoption of the agenda. You can disclose any interest now or anytime throughout the meeting. Do we have any delegations, deputations? No, the delegation left?
Yeah.
That worked well. Report of municipal officers. We will start with clerk planning manager Kirsten Cote, overview of the 2025 council meetings. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. So this is an annual report that's prepared for information purposes and transparency for both council and members of the public. It outlines the number of regular and special council and committee of the whole meetings that were held in 2025, as well as in-camera meetings held pursuant to Section 239 of the Municipal Act. You'll note that the number of in-camera meetings in 2025 was almost double from the previous year. But the majority of those meetings were related to staffing and municipal negotiations and periodic updates related to both. Are there any questions?
Seeing none.
We were here for them, so.
All right, we'll move on. Moved by Deputy Reed Carroll, second by Councilor Abbas. Thank you for coming to the meeting, Councilor Abbas. Appreciate that. Council accept the overview of 2025 council meetings, report as information. All in favor? Carried. All right, and next we have the clerk planning manager, Kirsten Cote, request to stop up and close the formerly traveled road crossing 181 Fletcher Road.
Thank you, Chair. So this request stemmed from some surveying that was undertaken during severance process that indicated a historical formerly traveled road crossing the owner's property that was never formally closed when Roger Stevens Drive was realigned. The portion of the formerly traveled road that is the subject of this request is actually owned by the owner of the property. And this stop up and closure process is essentially cleaning up the title. So in November, staff brought a report to council explaining the reasoning for this request and seeking direction from council to proceed with appropriate variances to the road closing process, since there's no sale involved. Notice of this public meeting was provided to all landowners within 120 meters of 181 Fletcher Road, as well as landowners between Fletcher Road and the unopened road allowance between lot 6 and 7, concession 5, that this formerly traveled road crosses. Additionally, agencies identified in the policy were notified and comments requested. So the County of Lanark advised they had no objection to the current request, but they would be interested in exploring some cost sharing options with respect to correcting title on another portion of formerly traveled road on the opposite side of Fletcher Road. Additionally, a circulated landowner, so in the report, you'll see a section that's bolded that identifies that individual's property. So they did make some inquiries and spoke with staff. Their concern was they didn't want their access impeded, and based on their point of access to the property, which is the extension of the, west on open road allowance from Fletcher Road, it was deemed to be non-impactful. That's not the portion of roadway that's the subject of this request. No other comments have been received to date. Staff are proposing to bring the formal bylaw, so the draft is attached to the report, to the next meeting of council for passage. Are there any questions?
I just have a question.
So yes, you'll notice that that's because the survey's not yet been registered. So as soon as the survey's registered, we'll put the actual registered survey number in there.
So I just read 27R-N.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Good question, though.
There were no questions? Okay, moved by Councillor Crabtree, seconded by Reed Jennings, that council direct staff to bring forth the bylaw to authorize the stop up and closure of a portion of the formerly traveled road legally described as part of Lot 5, Concession 5, Township of Montague, designated as parts 6, 7, 8, and 11 on 27R, to be announced on February 3rd, 2026, council meeting as per the draft bylaw presented this date. All in favor? That's carried. And then next we move on to the WSIB surplus rebate 2024, and that is municipal manager, treasurer, deputy clerk, Alison Verrey.
Thank you, Chair. Similar to the 2023 reconciliation year for WSIB, they have their full amount that they require to hold and are legally allowed to hold fulfilled. So they're starting to provide credit amounts back to organizations. So we have been provided notice and are in receipt in our WSIB account of a $28,000 credit. Similar to the last 2023 year, which we used a portion of it against our 2025 WSIB premiums. We're looking to do the same thing in 2026 with keeping a little cushion there of the $5,000, but helping them offset our premiums in 2026. Hopefully either allowing to, if you recall in the budget with the new public works position, we were using some reserves to pay for that position. With this, it may help us use less reserves and be able to maintain those. And that's the intent here, is set ourselves up for a good positioning than being behind. If we were to cut in our budget, our WSIB amounts, we're gonna have to make up for them again next year if there's no credit. So let's be proactive and instead of reactive.
Okay, does anyone have any questions?
No, I think it's a great idea.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Verrey, much appreciated. Moved by Councillor Bass, seconded by Deputy Reeve Carroll, that council accept the report for the WSIB surplus rebate 2024 year, and that council direct staff to apply the credit amount of $23,286.56, which is $5,000 less than the total credit against the 2026 WSIB calculated premiums. And further that, councillor directs staff to leave a $5,000 credit in the account for potential future use. All in favor? Carried. And next we go to municipal manager, treasurer, deputy clerk, Alison Verrey, Lanark County Highway 43.
Thank you, Chair. So Lanark County Highway 43 is kind of an interesting road that goes through the municipality. It goes through many actually municipalities and different counties. So as in the report in 98, it was decommissioned by MTO and provided down to the County of Lanark, United Leads in Grenville, and Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry. So there's a bit of an issue with the naming and the numbering because of it going through 3 different counties. So here at the municipal level, we get most complaints are about Amazon drivers not being able to find the address because there might be multiple civic numbers that are the same but are actually different counties. So we have met with county staff. Lanark County staff have taken this on because they want to get this straightened out. So they reached out to the lower tiers, which one of the meetings was with us, to say that they'd like to work towards a resolution for the emergency services. I believe they had a call either with police or ambulance and they didn't go, it didn't make it to the correct address. Nothing fatal, nothing, but just that could be an issue in the future. So they're looking towards really considering either renaming the road or redoing the civic addressing. We think both options are reasonable. There's going to be definitely some work and communications as far as getting out to the people and working with the citizens for the annoyance of having to change your address and all of your government issued ID and all those good things. So we had those discussions. We as staff feel like we know this council pretty good, that we figured that this council would be fully supportive in whatever we have to do to make sure that the residents of our township long-term are safe. So we've advised them that we would be happy as staff to work with them any way we could to be proactive on the communications and making sure it's effective and getting to those people. We also brought up that we think council should look at setting aside or using some social services reserves or whatever it may be to assist people in the cost to redirect your mail for 6 months. So if we're changing their number, that is redirect, it's technically still their home, but different address. Just to make sure that we're taking as much of the nuisance away as we can for this project. So we're bringing this to you because it's going to be coming to county council. And we're hoping that you as council will also be just as supportive of whatever they need to do and supportive of us assisting however we can for the residents and the county. We're extremely thankful that they're looking after this. And we're just asking that you support it and provide the Reeve and Deputy Reeve that support at that table.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aiken. Any questions? Like they should be doing it. They do a good job, so yeah, I'm all for it.
Well, this is obviously due, so it's good that we're doing some housekeeping and you know, we can make some road name suggestions later, but
I have a couple ideas for change.
Yeah, it's an interesting problem for sure. I mean, it also goes through like going with Umsey too as well, because it goes to the first two as well. It'd be interesting, like, yeah, if you're gonna keep it as one highway or not, like what the numbers would start at and what they would go to, you probably go to like a pretty big number if it was the whole thing stayed Highway 43 again too as well. But renaming would be an interesting side of the two as well. I'm curious of like the costing side of things, or were we just setting aside money just to make sure that we have some money there? Because the county would, because it is a county road, so they would probably make sure that all of that is sort of taken under their wing. We're just making sure that we have money aside. I'm trying to understand our financial response, like I'm fully supportive, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to understand our financial responsibility when it's a county road.
So Chair, through you, I think it's that because it doesn't affect every municipality in Lanark County, that if at the Lanark County table, they say, no, we're not gonna refund people their 6-month redirection, that we do have funds to do that. And we already have funds to do that. It's just that this council's saying, yeah, we're gonna make sure we do whatever it is to help offset that cost of our ratepayers if the county's not going to fund that.
Perfect. So like that's part of that discussion with the Reeve and myself, and we're up there making also say maybe put a case to as well. You think it should be paid for by the county because it is a county road, regardless of how, like, I mean, if the county road, I mean, different county roads go through different municipalities and expenses occur to those to there and everything else. So I mean, I hear you on that for sure. So I thank you for explaining that part of it. We want to make sure that our residents are taken care of regardless, but we'll also be discussing probably at the county to making sure that those expenses are hopefully covered under the county bracket as it is a county road too as well. So. Yeah.
And Chair, through you, that's a good point, Jeff, is that even if it's probably easier that the people get refunded from us because we have the software, but even if the county then would provide us the funds, right? Like however it works, that it's the easiest for everybody, so they don't have to go to the county and they don't have to, you know, those kind of things. We're happy to work with them however we can. We just don't want the ratepayers to have a financial burden for something that's not there.
I think that's a great point too as well, because that's part of that discussion in the county where we say like our staff want to do right for our residents and they're willing to work with me too as well and to help facilitate some of that stuff. Because there'll be staff time that will be involved in that too as well. But there'll be pieces of that, which I think is just amicable to make sure that, once again, showing how our staff are trying to make sure that our residents are compensated and taken care of. And it will be a nuisance for sure. I remember even when my postal code changed, that happened to me. I think it might have happened to you too as well. We lost our K784S4, which was like that for my whole life.
OG,
And OG5, is
I'm MG, OG.
Okay, yeah, so like, it's like, I was,
I just learned it after about a year.
that was a nuisance. So this is even bigger nuisance, so obviously, yeah, so, yeah.
And share views. So, and with that, that's the intent with the communication, is to kind of give a listing of, hey, these are the things you're gonna need to change to really try and help as much as we can, that it's not a burden of, you know, task or whatever it is, that we'll have a checklist for them. To kind of, we just wanna work together collaboratively and do the best that we can for the people who will be, involved in this.
And the next steps from the county too as well will be that also to deal with weeds and store my undesk, right? Yeah, to also, I guess it's gonna be a collaborative approach, I guess, with.
Yeah.
Should we with all of them? too?
Yeah, so my understanding, and maybe they'll provide something different, but I think the understanding is that they were starting with us, so Drummond and Ramsey ourselves, the ones that would be affected, make sure we're on board. And then if the other counties, who call it County Road 43, not Highway 43, if they're not willing to renumber or rename, that they're gonna do this side.
And
Because
we,
we still have to address our problem.
and we could just, and if we just renumber it to highway, like.
Yeah.
Like 28 or Lord Montague Way, then, I mean, it could be, Dover Way.
I think so.
Yeah, sounds good, yeah. Drummond doesn't even have a different opinion on Lord Montague Way, but we can always advocate that as well. Yeah. Thank you, that's great. Thank you for.
Deputy Reeve Carroll, thank you for that. It would be a good name. Any other thoughts or anything, Ms. Bracken, you're good? Okay, moved by Reeve Jennings, second by Councilor Crabtree, the council of the township of Montague supports the staff of the township of Montague and Lanark County in changes required for Highway 43 naming and or numbering to better serve the residents of the county of Lanark in the township of Montague. And that the council of the township of Montague provides direction to staff to ensure that there are funds to support the appropriate and timely communications and costs for ratepayers to redirect mail if required for a 6-month period during the transition period. All in favor? That's carried. Well written motion. Yeah, professional staff, you gotta love it. Thank you. Okay, move to any reports of committees. We have none. Chief, you know what I mean? No. Good. Thank you very much. Are there any petitions? Okay, that's also good. Any motions, notice of motion? Also seeing none. Unfinished business or other business? Tom, you have any business? No? Okay, we'll move on from that. Next is, do we have any questions online or in person?
Comment. With the roads on 43, changing the address, on Roger Stevens, a lot of people that put in my address, some GPSs have them up into Ottawa. That happens regularly. It has from some UPS drivers, Amazon drivers go there, some of them come here, some of them phone my place and say, well, there's no house here. Because they're GPS, and I don't know what the solution is, but I know when I phoned 911, when I had to call them, they definitely asked me, are you in Montague Township or are you in Ottawa? When I give them the address. So for emergency vehicles, know where when you call to ask that question. But from drivers, and when they put in GPS and you have an address on it that says Smith Falls, and yet a lot of them come up into Ottawa. So if it happens to me, I'm sure it happens to other people on the road too, but it's just one of those things that happen.
Wow.
I know some people used to say that the GPS wouldn't find Roger Stevens if it didn't say County Road 4. That's why.
Correct.
Really? Not heard that before.
Yeah.
I don't know what we would do though to. Look, sort of
Paper map.
paper map.
No, I think a lot.
Yeah, it's 1985.
Yeah. A lot of the complaints also come from Google Maps being incorrect.
Yeah.
So the county has tried to reach out to Google Maps, we've tried to reach out to Google Maps. We haven't gotten anywhere, so I think that's the other thing is that we can't be reliant on Google Maps. But we'll bring up Roger Stevens stating that there's some concerns there too, to see if the county has other people that have contacted them.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
that's the first I've heard of Roger Stevens, so we'll make sure that that's also a discussion, I guess, or.
Well, it wasn't that I'm just letting you aware of that it's not just 43,
Yeah,
it does happen on Roger Stevens.
okay.
Cause this would be like, this would be a bit of a different scenario, because Roger Stevens would have changed to Ottawa, the civic address numbers doesn't change, it's not like the road changes something else, right?
Yeah, well,
So it's
the
interesting what that process.
civic numbers change at the boundary, and their numbers isn't that far away, so before you get to Dwyer Hill Road is where they try and send them instead of my place. It's right along there where the equivalent of my place would be on, if you were in Ottawa.
The civic numbers do change when it changes?
Oh, yes, and the numbers and the color of the
Yeah.
post change too.
It starts looking like Ottawa.
Because of the Ottawa numbers,
Yeah.
right? That is an interesting one as well. So that, maybe that's one of those things where I think Allison probably got the notes, but I mean, like, it'd be interesting to pass that on to the county to see if that's another issue that is there too as well. That's,
Huge opportunity for our representatives at county to take that up.
then we gotta do it with the city of Ottawa.
Oh, don't want to do that. Was there anything else, Tom, that you, another good question, I really got to think of it, I appreciate it. Okay, no other questions are on the room? No, chief, you're good, there we go. All right, adjournments, moved by Deputy Reeve Carroll, second by Councilor Abbas. The committee of the whole meeting for January 20th, 2026, now be adjourned at 7:36 PM. All in favor? Carried. Thank you all very much and have a good night. Good to go.
Councillor Crabtree, are we ready?
Yeah.
My capital. Welcome back to our council meeting of Tuesday, January 20th. Moved by Councillor Crabtree, second by Councillor Johnson, that council resume the council meeting at, no, I got the wrong resolution.
7:40.
Oh, yes, no, that's right. Council resumed the council meeting at 7:40 PM. All in favor? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Crabtree, that council moves into closed session at 7:40 PM as per section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001, SO 2001, C25, in order to address one item. Negotiations with Thomaston Falls update, more specifically 2392K, a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board, and the municipal manager, treasurer, deputy clerk Allison Braken, and clerk planning manager Kristen Cote remain in the room. All in favor, and that's carried.